Welcome to the Fat Cats Rugby podcast, bringing you candid rugby conversations, great interviews and insights into Ugandan rugby, and a touch of rugby in Africa and the world over. Fat Cats Rugby podcast is a product of Fat Cats Media brand for all your audio-visual content needs and equipment hire. Hope you enjoy this episode.
Welcome to yet another episode of the Fat Cats podcast, and we thank you so much for your continued support and for following us on all our platforms
media.
and social. Oh man, this thing is. We are here yet with our usual three Fat Cats. Bruno, how has the break been for you?
The break, it wasn't necessarily a break because there was some rugby going on at the graveyard, Central Sevens. Very nice rugby. My team made it. My team Sailors made it to the finals, but lost to the boys on fire, the Eagles. And the Eagles took the overall championship. Very brilliant side, well coached. Hope to see them in the top flight, and also at Rujumba Sevens because they are in a pool. I think Pool C at Rujumba Sevens. So, yeah, the break was okay.
Daniel said that the Rujumba Sevens are going to be won by either Pirates or Sailors. Do you want to say something about that?
It's going to be a tricky one for Sailors, but Pirates are contenders, and I would say Hippos. Only Pirates and Hippos.
Can we talk about how Pirates doesn't have a very good record at home, especially with trophies, with cups, tournament cups, and all that? And they are best friends. I'd like to call them best friends because everyone wants to call them rivals. Their best friends usually win at Kings Park.
It's painful for the last Rujumba Sevens because getting out of the semis was by a try that didn't reach the line.
That try. Was it Kisano?
Yes. I would against Stephens. I wouldn't say it's a bad luck, but yeah, it wasn't a nice display last season in the Rujumba Sevens. But we took Wakiso Sevens, which was also at Kings Park.
We're not counting Wakiso Sevens.
Then
we're
also
counting Rujumba.
Let's see, but yeah, we are on fire. We are in charge. We hope to see the best.
Well, Cobbs is usually in charge at Kings Park, but okay.
It's more of an exchange because Legends is also home to Pirates.
I was going to introduce Ruben, but as overjust. Today with us we have two guests. One from Pirates, Kings Park, and the other one from Impis, the Impis grounds, the graveyard. Do you want to introduce Sendifa?
George. My guy.
George William.
Pirate to the bone.
I find that name very fun. George William. Introduce Sendifa.
Maybe he looks like he's a bit far away from his mic though. Maybe you can help him adjust it, Bruno. But maybe we can get to know him a little bit. Me, what I know about him is a very passionate man. After Pirates won, the guy was like, "You guys will be making noise for Ivan Magom. Shut up! There is no one you can compare to Ivan Magom, all that jazz." So, good sir, thank you for being on the podcast today. Maybe you can just tell us a little bit about who you are and how you really fell in love with this club that you support so passionately.
My name is George William Sendifa. I'm a certified Pirates fan. I've been a rugby supporter for a very long while. I started supporting rugby at 12 years of age when I joined King's College Budo. But for club level, you were 12.
You joined S1 at 12.
I was 11.
How many classes did you skip?
Yeah. So, honestly, of course, for club rugby, when we start following it, initially, many of us didn't have sides and all. So when we're at campus, majority of us...
Mike, it's okay. You continue. It's fine.
When we were at campus, Caesar can testify, I think most of us were Impis fans. Yeah. But because, Impis games, you're just going to move from hall, you come and watch. Plus our mates were playing for Impis at that time. But when I left campus, that was in 2015, you start watching all other teams intensively. So in the end, I did not like Cobs, honestly. I did not like Cobs. I enjoyed watching the Heathens because of Philip Okorach. For Cobs, I would mainly watch Joseph Aredo. What a player. At that time, he was a very good player. So eventually, I noticed there were many other people that I knew that were playing for Pirates. There were many Budonians, the likes of Marvin Odong, Chanowira Daniel, and you'd see them developing and becoming very good players. So I settled for Pirates eventually. Of course, the start was not easy, but the first time we won was 2017. When as a Pirates fan, 2017 Uganda Cup final Chadondo. I watched that one live. Emanzi scored a try. Mala scored a try the other side. Wokos was not happy and we won a trophy. I think Musa was man of the match. Yeah, the young desire. Everyone was, who's that boy putting on number 7? Yeah. So that's how I fell in love with Pirates. Of course, the next year I went on to win the league. So at that point,
but what
I couldn't turn
happened?
back.
It was, I think after that, I think it was a treble in 2018.
Yeah.
What happened? Because I thought that crop would ideally become a dynasty at some point and maybe win, let's say, in the next few years, some trophies. But they did go trophyless for some time.
Many players left. If you look at that starting lineup that won the 2018 title, many of those players left. Very many players left in the park. The next season, that's when Magom joined LDC. Musa was not playing. Chano retired.
Old guys retired, then Baron disappeared.
That's when Marvin got that injury.
Yeah.
Before he got that injury in 2018 against Kenya. So, the ex of the gigs, there was Anguyo, all those players left. Mwanje
as well.
Yeah. So, it kind of affected us. So, we had to sit back and rebuild.
Okay. So, and we also have another very passionate man from the proud club of Pirates Impis.
Arrogance.
The arrogance. Of late, there was a time when they first banged them banter about trash talk, and everyone was saying that shouldn't have been. It was out of line. Then guys were asking, where is the arrogance in you? In all that. But anyway, welcome Joseph Maani. He is a very avid watcher of the podcast. We appreciate that he has made the time to be here with us. Maybe with the same template. Really, what got you into supporting Impis? I mean, I know there are so many good things about Impis that you can that can really tie you to the club. I mean, you're there next to a hub of very beautiful girls. I have a few friends there, but I never got the chance to really support Impis. So for you, what was that thing that made you decide to be Impis through and through?
So, my name is Joseph Maani Muhumza, and I'm an avid Impis supporter. So I remember I started supporting Impis in 2018. Before that, we were just casual fans moving from UH, that's University Hall at Makerere, and going to the graveyard to watch rugby on a normal Saturday afternoon when they don't have plans for money as a campus student.
With a free entrance.
Yeah, with the free entrance, of course. Yeah, then after the games, we'd stick around, drink with some of the boys, and then one guy challenged me. It was Amos, and he was the club chairman by that time. Yeah, Amos challenged me. He said, but we always here talking trash and knowing better than the people who are on the pitch. Why don't you come and try it out? Yeah, so then I went and tried it out, and then that's when we got relegated, and That's when some mediocre players like myself got some chance to play in the championship when we were putting 90 past Chifaru, 50 past Box. Yeah, then when Impis was promoted,
You remained there.
yeah, I remained there with the rebirth of the Intangas. Yeah, so I not only became a fan, but I was a part-time player, and now I think I'm a full-time fan and media personnel.
Okay. It's like I've ever seen you do refereeing as well. Or I'm mistaken?
No, I just did the courses.
The courses?
I went through it.
We are complaining about having a shortage of referees, and you guys are just doing
These
courses.
are the guys who
Tick
start
a box.
courses and don't finish.
But anyway,
The courses of refereeing, I meant.
what do you want to say?
Come on. Anyway, Maani, what according to you, because we saw last season before we get into sevens where your club is doing tremendously well. In fact, in Kidgum, they almost became my favorite club of the year. But things didn't work out.
By beating Pirates.
But a lot happened, which I won't but I'll comment later. I don't fear. What do you think has changed? What do you think has changed in Impis? Because we saw from the league for the first time in a while, and trust, I was in an Impis team that I was a manager, please. I didn't play. I was a manager of an Impis team where we ended 5th in the league. Beat Warriors home and away, beat Rhinos home and away, and all that stuff. I wanted to know, it was what, but we never won games, 5 games in a row. We saw that happening with Impis at the beginning of the league, and you played really well, and then it has trickled down to sevens. What do you think, according to you, has caused this sudden surge? And also, off air, we're talking about you guys not losing as many players of late like it used to be, where players were just transitioning through. Apart from a certain role who is being lied to by Pirates' beautiful girls. What do you think has helped you? What do you think has helped you bring up this level of rugby, according to you?
First of all, currently we have players who want to be at the club, and that's why they have been together for all these years, about 3-4 years together.
You have a player who has won 50 cups for the club.
Yes, Amos
Fantastic,
Asini.
yeah.
He began playing with Impis in his form for vacation before he went to Namiliango.
Who was the team? I wonder.
Kudos to you.
Before you even continue, I just want people to know that he was a secret Cobs spy acting as a TM for Impis. Is it a coincidence that you're now with Cobs?
No, I just chose the best club in the land. I talked about it.
And then you dropped a serious proverb. Do you have a proverb for us today? Carry
Told me
on.
today. Yeah, so these players have been together, they have played together, they want to play for the club, and they don't seem to be going anywhere, apart from a few that are being quoted by my neighbors to the right. But I think if we stay together, if we stay together with the way the team is right now, we are definitely going to do better, and I don't think the word shock will stay in people's vocabulary with more games that with more games that win and with those sorts of performances that we put up.
Okay, ideally, when you look at Impis, there is this notion that they're a club that has a timeline or a cycle, in that if you go there as a youngster in perhaps your first year or your vacation, you have about a time lapse of about 3 to 4 years. Then after that, you tend to perhaps feel out of place because now you're growing older and now you're with a couple of younger boys. How do you think that is? Because we have seen a lot of players come through Impis and a lot of players go. I don't think these players did not love the club for them to leave, but what do you think can be done to make sure that Impis does not have that perception of we are supposed to only play here for 3 years, once our campus life is done, then we move on?
Yeah, on player retention, I think we have really gone hard on our communities. Previously, it was a case of Makerere students. So now we have Makerere and Mulago students and neighboring institutions, and young kids like Robert Sentongo who have grown up at the graveyard and are now within the system and are clearly not going anywhere. So it's not a matter of my degree at Makerere is culminates into my time at Impis, and therefore when I also leave the club.
Okay. Mr. Sendifa George William. Caesar insists that we say the name fully as it is. Any particular reason why it's George William? Is it after King George, one of the kings of England, the club, the country I support?
Oh, George William, come
Caesar has you check. There's everything you've ever done to
This
him.
way I'll get you.
But anyway, tell us a bit about your background with rugby. You've already given us a picture of how you got into supporting Pirates, but where did rugby start for you? You said 12 years old, but how was it? Maybe I understand you're in Budo. So how did that happen? How did that go? Did you play yourself? If yes, what position? Or you were just like Bruno, a noisemaker?
from day one.
Indeed, I was a noisemaker. So this is what happened. When I joined senior one, I was arguably the smallest boy in our year, or the smallest senior one. But of course, senior one, everyone tries, yeah? So, in our senior one, there's a match that was going on. It was Form 4 versus Form 5. Yeah. I think the school team fullback at the time called Aye, he was in Form 5. He tackled some guy called Masengere. When he tackled him, he stepped on his foot, so it was a freak injury, whereby his lower foot was nearly detached from his leg, and it was all hanging like that.
Sound like you're describing some Final Destination jazz.
It was so nasty. So that was Form 1 first time. So from that point, I was like, now me, I'm smaller. I have no energy. So I concentrated on watching, but I used to hang a lot with the rugby players. I used to make sure that I'm there watching their training sessions. So I learned a lot. I got to know the rules, the basics, the calls, and that's how I developed my passion for rugby. So I did not play. Play rugby.
I see Bruno has a fellow. He's there forcing life in Sailors, but even Sailors they're yet to give him his debut.
There's a time when Maani considered himself the best prop in championship.
You guys need to meet one of these
And then
guys.
he would play only the first half. I was like, I pushed to the 60th minute.
So also at that time, we used to watch Super Rugby. We're in school. Yeah. Then I was in South Africa House. So eventually I started sport in South Africa. Then in 2007 we won the World Cup. So I developed a lot of passion.
Have you seen how Caesar was shaking his head when you talked about watching Super Rugby in high school in Budo? It's Mark, they could not allow them. You have to go for prep.
Like a small TV.
Eventually watched the whole of 2007 World Cup. So yeah. And
But
since
then-
it was
yeah.
the main sport, we had to fall in love with it.
Tell us from your point of view, what do you think has really made this resurgence and dominance of Pirates really stand out? I mean, from winning the treble, then first the few players going away, and then having a bit of a trophy drought, and then the resurgence. Now, what do you think, in your opinion, both on and off pitch has really ticked right for Pirates?
Bruno
Of
has
course.
something to say.
What's happening, Bruno?
Have you seen how Joseph has opened the Nilo?
Of course, whatever transpires on the pitch, the hard work starts off pitch. We have to give great thanks to the Pirates management, the likes of Chanowina Daniel, the XCOM, not forgetting the hard work of Dennis Etiquette. Definitely, in that team that won, there were some experienced players that were retained, the likes of Ivan Magomu, the Kisigas were around, Mala. There were many players, but also Pirates management has put a lot of emphasis in developing many players. You can see many players that have risen through the ranks, and this season they have become stars. The likes of Sidney Gogonjo, Ziwa, Arnold. This didn't happen overnight. Back in 2021, when Cobs beat Pirates to win the trophy, there's a picture that Ziwa actually played that game. But how old was he then? He was still a teenager. He was a teenager. So, on top of the management being organized, yeah? Pirates is an academy. Pirates is an academy. Through Sailors, many players have come through Sailors and have managed to learn how Pirates play. Because those two teams train together. So every player, when he's playing for Sailors, he knows that if I'm given the chance to play for Pirates, this is what I'm supposed to do. But also, from the off pitch, when you go on pitch, you have to give a shout out to Bobby Musinguzi. Because at that time, when Pirates became a force, he was the man behind it on pitch. Yeah? He was a coach the Chanos. He's now the chairman, but he was his coach at that time. But also, Bobby foresaw that there's someone he needed to groom. Marvin Odong retired. He started working with him. And you can see Bobby has left, but he left his footprint. And Marvin Odong is now prospering. And he's able to raise the Pirates flag as the head coach.
Okay. That's very, very interesting. Yeah, for those who want to just get a background of that story as well, you can always check out one of our other episodes with Marvin Odong. We did have a wager with him, myself and Edwin, that if they won the trophy, that he would come on the podcast, and he did come. He came with Chairman Chanowira, and they walked us through what was an ideal journey of how the season was for them and how he got into coaching, and he seems to be doing a lot of great things. But for those that are watching us today, you might wonder, we don't look to be in our usual Fat Cat's lair, which is the Fred and Winnie B&B. Today we are at a new place. We are at Excelsis Gardens Hotel. It's here in Kisasi. Very, very serene. Beautiful, quiet place. The service is really good. Accommodation, conferencing facilities, events, gardens, bar and restaurant, Wi-Fi. And if you just want to be like us here in the gazebo, the Nile Special Gazebo, you can just come and have your beer and just chill and have chibozi conversation. For those that ideally want to get in touch and maybe find out more details about them, you can call the numbers 0200 90 43 99, or for those that want an alternative number, 0393 24 7966. Yeah, Excelsis Garden Hotel in Kisasi. That is where we are today, enjoying a few beverages here, and of course the water is always there because we need to hydrate. It's very, very important. So Bruno, we are coming off a break. Luckily for some of us, there was Test Rugby to watch. I was so happy South Africa lost. I keep telling people to this day I have failed to even watch the replay of that England-South Africa World Cup 2019 final, because I really felt we were the best team in the tournament, but somehow those Boers fixed us. And for some reason, YouTube is very provocative. It always brings a suggestion, watch full match, watch highlights, but I have failed. So, but luckily enough, there was Test Rugby over the weekend. But we've had 2 circuits so far that have passed. The Ginger, that was the launch of the Nile Special Sevens, and then there was the Kitgum Sevens. And this coming weekend, we have Rujumba Sevens. How have you seen the Sevens so far, and what do you expect for this coming weekend?
As a matter of fact, for the past Sevens season or circuits that I've watched, there hasn't been any display of fantastic rugby from both clubs like this season. In the 2 circuits so far, I've been greatly impressed by the rugby that my own club is playing, and besides that, the force that is coming from clubs like Walukuba Rhinos, the Buffaloes, and also not Cobs, of course.
What's wrong with
No, but it's a challenge right from, you see, for most of the 2-day circuits we used to have, most of them were 1 day, the up country, but the 2-day circuit that we used to have, I would say, sorry to say, but day 1 used to be boring, because you can even predict the clubs that can get out of group stage. But right now, it's hard. You can't even predict a quarter-final. That's the beauty about this season for the two circuits so far. And with the two circuits played so far, I'm ready for any shock. And this shock is coming at Rujumba Sevens. To be honest, there is a team that you don't expect that is going to make it to the finals or even the semis. I can even bet right now.
Those are the things I want to hear about. Let's bet.
The Buffaloes and Hippos, they are going to make some fans leave early or even go to the rugby chilled fridge earlier than midday, especially on day 2, because they've been from the rugby that was played in Ginger, Stone City Sevens, by Rhinos, and then to Impis displaying some good rugby in the quarterfinals in Kitugum. You just expect the best. And you know, those are up country. You know what happens with up country and the camps. Fatigue, they don't know the pitch. But this is a circuit where guys are coming from their homes, 6:30, at 7, they are warming up at Kings Park Arena in Boyogere. It's going to be a tough one, especially the teams that are in the pools of the Buffaloes, which is Pirates, then Impis. Impis might be a problem at Kings Park Arena, and they have that luck at Kings Park Arena. They can force something at the arena. So, to me, it's so far fantastic rugby from both camps, and expecting for Reshoka at the Rujumba Sevens. Yeah.
Caesar, we want to hear from your perspective. You went to Kitgum. Maybe give us a bit of a picture about how the journey was, where you stayed. Did you eat pate? For us that were watching,
he ate food.
He ate food. For us that were watching online, there seemed to be a bit of a challenge with the grounds and how many players seem to be going down. Of course, we did have a number of unfortunate injuries. Get well soon to the likes of Claude Otema and the rest. But tell us, what has your experience been so far of the 2-day circuits? And also, I want to get what your take is on having 2-day circuits up country. Do you think it is a good thing? Do you think it is something that is still a bit tricky for rugby in Uganda?
Thank you. First and foremost, let me comment about rugby before I go into that 2-day business. Together, I missed the Stone City Sevens, but I watched them on TV. I don't know why I find always TV rugby doesn't feel the same as when you're live on ground. I don't know why. The rugby was good, but then I was very, very impressed. Everything Bruno talked about, Bruno told me that the rugby being showcased and the rugby that was showcased in Ginger was unbelievable. Then I got to watch it in Kitgum. The teams, it's like all teams are prepared. I don't know. All teams are prepared. They're doing well. Heathens, for example, took a very young team they took a very young team that was upset by a very old player in their team, so their age average wasn't. Scott played the sevens, but they played really well, and there were a bunch of young kids, and they found themselves in the semi-final. So you get, it doesn't even matter which players, because most teams suffer from their players working for these up-country games, but the level of rugby didn't change. It didn't change at all. And then the teams where we go, I'm hoping for Toro Sevens and Tororo, we find the same display, because the teams in Kitgum, I said this before, the teams in Kitgum really, really, really did well. The teams in North showed up. You could see there was something lacking because they were playing the usual central teams, but their tackles were top notch. Their drift was good. They were extremely fit. And, we had our very own Kasito. We're playing Kitgum. Or we play Kitgum or Gulu? And Kasito has
the
that.
Gulu Falcons.
Yeah. Casito has that moment in a game where he gets the ball and he just wants to run
All the way.
But this time he ran, cut back, went up, went to the wing, but the guy wasn't going until when he stopped and then let the ball out. And that was for me an unbelievable thing. The rugby is amazing. I want to shout out to the sponsor and the union. We always complain when the union says, even our central circuits, when they said they wanted a 2-day tournament, we complained that the logistics, the players will get tired doing that, and most of the time they always fall. They fall to the pressure and they say, okay, let's have 2 days in central, and then up countries be 1 day. But they took a gamble with together the sponsors, and yes, there are challenges. We have players that work on weekends, so they won't be able to do a 2-day tournament. They will do, and then they will show up like on a Sunday. But you can't show up on a Sunday in Kitgum. But man, it is working. This is my personal opinion. It is working, and it's just a start. Next year, it's going to be bigger and better. I enjoyed myself. It's just that the players don't. The players can't drink on Saturday. Okay, those who drink, they can't party on Saturday. They'll play, go get a pool session, and then
Ice bath,
then go and sleep. But it's working because we have time. Because we have time, we won't rush. You won't have a situation where a sevens, it's already too short. I hate sevens because it's too short. 7 minutes. Then because we are playing a 1-day tournament, you're playing 4 minutes. You get. But here we have time for the sponsor to do its activations, time for players to recover. I don't know whether that recovery though is good, because a team can play at 2, then the next play at 5. You get, but the players really
also
relax.
that blending of women's rugby,
Yeah, also
in the middle,
in the
is
middle,
also fantastic.
It's fantastic.
It makes the whole experience artistic.
Yeah,
And to me, I mean, we are just entering into circuit 3 of 7, but I feel like this is the best sevens season
me too.
I'll enjoy.
They took a gamble, and I'm happy they did. They didn't hear to us complaining about 2 days and logistics. Let them deal with the logistics. But when we have something where, because it's working, for me, I believe it's working, and it's going to do better. About the Rujumba Sevens, I don't know whether there are going to be any shockers. All I know that it won't be a shock to me, because man, teams have showed up. Teams are all of a sudden, hippos that are defending champions are playing well, but they are not on our lips. The other teams that are on our lips, man, Impis, guys. I want to talk about Impis. Kitgum Sevens. My God. Impis came with some rugby, Ruben, where they would play short shots, as in they were playing pack rugby in sevens. My God. Every time pass will take in ball, 3 guys will go on him. Then he racks it. Then the number 9 will quickly release. And Impis played against Pirates.
At some point, they played PDs.
Oh, yes. Impis played Pirates. And I was like, this is going to happen. But man, anyway, next time. These guys have some weird luck going on, where even when everything is not going for them, Pirates always finds a way of winning. But that game was really good. But Pirates won.
Yeah, maybe to just bring in Maani here. Starting off where he just ended, that Pirates was at the brink of winning that quarterfinal matchup between Impis and Pirates, of which I know there was a lot to prove between individuals and also as teams. But it has also showed how much Impis has grown over the last few years, as you have said. Unfortunately, towards the end of the game, I believe they got a little bit too excited and went off their game management that they should have continued. The PDs that he talks about, which are also a bit energy sapping, but sometimes you have to do what you gotta do, and they didn't. What are your thoughts on the sevens, and what are your thoughts on Impis's journey and chances in these sevens this year?
So these sevens this year, generally speaking, the quality of rugby has gone very up. I was in Ginger for the 2 days, and you could tell that there is something deliberate going on that side. The Kira Crocs, the way they play, the Trojans themselves, the way they play. Then when you get to their senior teams, Hippos and Walukuba, they play very deliberate rugby. They know what they are doing. It's not up to one man to shine. to carry the team. They play in a system manner. That's what I choose to call it. Then, of course, in Kitgum, the Kitgum Lions, Gulu City Falcons, they all played brilliant rugby. Now the question is on the central teams. The question is now on the central invitational teams. Can you match up to what has been happening in our country? Since this is the birthplace of rugby, should I say the central? Yeah, then for Impis, in that particular game, people will question decisions made, but I don't think anyone who isn't on that pitch understands the magnitude of the game in that moment and what they need to do to win that game.
Right.
Whether it's the right decision, whether it's the wrong decision to the pundits and people watching and all that, whoever is on pitch wants to win more than you who is supporting from the sidelines. So I believe, and I'll always back any decision made by any player on the pitch, even if I don't agree with it.
Also, I wanted to comment about that. Me, I'm going to complain. People came and questioned Henry's decision to kick those drop goals. Man, guys, this is sevens rugby. This is a quarterfinal, I need to tell you. Okay, yes, they rested. But these guys had played 14 minutes. They had finished playing 14 minutes. They entered into extra time. The extra time was almost even ending. And Henry, in the next person to score wins it. And it's not like Henry's kicks were really bad. It's just luck. But man, guys were questioning, Pirates had the yellow card. Why didn't they run the ball? Bruh, these guys had run for over 16 minutes. Sevens rugby. Me, I don't. Like Maani has said, you cannot question a player, even when in your heart you believe maybe he could have done better. Me, I think that was the very best decision he made. He's just unlucky that the kicks didn't go in, but that was the best decision. And what that game proved is that Impis guys are not slow, like some people alluded. That's what he's doing. These guys were not slow. They matched up and they almost slayed the dragon. Next time.
Just a moment. My layman's explanation of that situation was you kick and either miss or score. Whereas you go for a scrum, you scratch, there are very many dynamics involved. And here you are having one of the best kickers from the league, whether all four on the team. So you give him the benefit of doubt, even if he fails twice.
I think the drop goals were a good thing.
It was
Good.
sudden death.
Yeah.
It was a good attempt to take, unfortunately.
The mistake that would be questioned was rather him slowing down play intentionally for that card.
Me, I think where I would like
that was-
you guys say that it's not good to question some of the players because they also want to win, as actually even more than we want. There is a point when ball moved from the scrum, from the scrum down, and he seemed to be looking for a cross kick. That's one of the things I just felt was a bit unnecessary. In such situations, you try and keep the ball and try and just starve the opposition of the ball, but it seemed to have handed position away. And at least if he wanted to kick, he should have put some distance on it so that Pirates could be backtracking and also they could put pressure on them in their own half. That's the only thing. But otherwise, I think it was brave and brilliant of him to really attempt the drop goals, but unfortunately he could not find the bearings that he normally does. But anyway, before we get off that topic, what are your thoughts on two-day tournaments, especially upcountry? We have had a couple of fans complain that means you literally have now, like for instance, Kitgum, you have 4 days off. You have to leave around half Friday, half the day if you don't like traveling at night. Then that means Sunday is usually dead. You have to maybe perhaps travel Monday, or even if you travel Sunday, the fatigue. So, and remember, rugby in Uganda is synonymous with what? With party. So, what are your thoughts about the two-day tournaments up country?
My thoughts are we had to do this anyway. Whether now or later, we had to do it. And the logistical issues, I think, are out of our hands. That's up to the sponsors and the organizers to handle. And I think this quality of rugby that we are seeing, Bruno was talking about day one, but also day two. For the first day, the players have enough time in between the games to rest and think about their next game. Then they come into day two, either fighting for survival or for victory. So this is something that needed to be done, and it is being done now. I personally don't support it, and I guess with time we shall get to appreciate it and work our schedules around it in order to fit into those 2-day tournaments, especially the upcountry ones.
Okay. George William, as Caesar
Who
said.
never travels for away circuits?
Why don't you travel for away circuits?
I'm going to travel.
You're going to travel.
The guy,
What? So it's not an away
the guy is a standby engineer.
Standby engineer.
Yeah,
So he has to do
work for him.
Work,
Crazy.
Still have many hours.
So anyway, I just want to know what your thoughts are about those 2-day circuits as well, and then maybe you can just paint for us a picture of what people should expect at the Rujumba Sevens.
Okay, 2-day circuits, I think it has its pros and cons, but I think the advantages they outweigh the disadvantages, because looking at the way we have won the circuits, I think for the second day our players come back when they're really energetic. Looking at last year, like I attended one of the 1-day circuits in Tebe. Players were really beaten up. By the time he reaches the semi, hectic. You could find Chisano, the man's knee is being strapped, he's limping. It was not easy. And the injuries were much more than the injuries that are happening right now.
Actually, in that circuit, because it was a 1-day circuit, some teams had to do walkovers because traffic
Yeah.
games were starting like at 7, so it was hard.
Actually, I remember sometime in, I think a few years ago in Soroti, the second half of the final was played in
darkness.
almost darkness.
Yeah.
Because you have to cram so many games in one day, and it wasn't a good sight, really.
So, one of the advantages of the 1-day circuits is what Cesar said. What Bruno said, whereby teams, of course, that have to go far, they get a chance to travel back. But for these 2-day circuits, the players have time to rest, and their bodies can recover. And some of the teams now, like us, we have really benefited from it. Yeah, because even at Ginger, Desire couldn't play on Saturday, but when he came on Sunday, he changed the game. Wanyamoni played the last game of Chitukum Sevens,
Saturday.
but this one I'm very sure when other teams saw him arriving, they were like, Kasaja kako kaze. And he's a key player for us, and surely he had an impact. So yeah, I think the 2-day circuits outweigh the 1-day circuits because some players work and not many can be able to come and they play on Saturday alone.
Okay.
Yeah. About Rujumba Sevens, this is going to be the 7th edition of the Rujumba Sevens, hosted by Stanbic Black Pirates. You can see me, I'm kitted in my Pirates jersey. We're in charge. Yeah, featuring the sailors.
I must say the quality has improved greatly from the other.
Okay, I'm going to get
Are
there.
you speaking from the manufacturer's side?
Yeah, we are going to host the Rujumba Sevens, Stanbic Black Pirates, featuring the sailors, our junior side. It's going to be on show also. You'll see our young boys show their skills. A big shout out to our sponsors, Stanbic Bank, Next Radio. Recently renewed our sponsorship with them. Predator Energy Drink, FNHS. Yeah, shout out to all our sponsors that are making sure that on Saturday and Sunday we can host the Sevens. Not forgetting FlexiPay. They are going to be very good promos. What I want to advise the fans to do, just download your FlexiPay app or CDK. One of the promos you've seen already, we have the now special promo for the crate at 40,000.
Bro.
But also
What? A crate at 40k.
But also, as Pirates, we are still recruiting many fans, and many of them would want to join. You can still use the FlexiPay app to acquire your jersey at 119,000. I got this. I already had the away kit, so I got my home kit today. I used FlexiPay to get it. So you can advise all the fans. You can get your kit so that you can have 2 different kits on Saturday and Sunday, so that you can come and you enjoy very good rugby being displayed.
No rebounding the same kit, eh?
And FlexiPay in Kitcom, there was no local who was sober in Kitgum. I promise you. Like they were all drunk.
Now in Ginger,
no local was sober.
in Ginger they did happy hours.
Even
Flex Pay and Nile Special.
Even Kitgum.
So they would announce they would announce in 2 hours we are going to have the happy hour, and now guys would extend to the counters, to the sale points. It was massive. Nile Special, Flex Pay, fantastic.
Yeah, well
Nice
done,
experience.
Well done.
Yeah.
Nice experience.
So Bruno, what are you looking forward to this weekend? Especially from the Rujumba Sevens rugby chill experience.
Quite a lot. Some of us who are rugby chill diehards and people who stay around the arena, there is a Rujumba Sevens circuit Kaski on Friday. Second thing, there is a partner who has come on board
Okay.
to bring tents and they pitch.
Really?
Yes. So, of course, we already have bathrooms there. We have shops around. Katogo will be ready in the morning. For guys that maybe come from Entebbe or Namasuba, or the sisters who come from Namolonge. The fact is, there are tents there. You can camp at Kings Park and enjoy everything up to Sunday evening or even Monday morning.
Wait, I hadn't gotten you. By tents you mean?
Hey, what did you think?
I thought there's no more tents.
No.
Wema.
Personal,
You meant tents.
personal
Nice.
tents
That's a
where
very,
to
very
sleep.
good thing.
So
Well done.
it's quite a lot. I'm still talking about off pitch. Now, George already talked about the Nile Special, the drinks and the offers. Flex Pay and Nile Special have just done it. Unbelievable. A crate at 40,000. That means you're buying a bottle of beer at 2K.
Yeah, Maani put Francis wicked budget.
And now,
50K. He's now break it down for us.
the advantage is you are being catered for as a group, not alone, because you can take a crate alone.
Yeah.
So the fun is just going to be immense. And now when we go to the hydration, because Renzori is a partner, so you are hydrating. And then the medical, we have the ambulances on standby. Now, being fat cats, food, Didi's World.
Hey.
Now Didi's World is going to be down and up.
Oh.
Katogo in the morning, chigere, pork ribs, yalelo fish.
Yalelo is coming.
Yes, it's just going to
Caesar,
be
if you don't
massive.
attend, eh?
On
So-
Saturday I'm not available.
So it's just going to be massive. I mean, you just don't have a reason to miss. Okay, if you have a small meeting that Kwanjula Kuchalo on Saturday, at least don't miss on Sunday.
Yeah.
So it's just going to be massive. No rugby fan or stakeholder now doubts a rugby party at Kings Park and the rugby chill. We deliver. So for Rujumba Sevens, it will be memorable. Now on pitch, we go back to the kind of rugby being displayed. Fantastic.
Yeah, maybe,
Shockers are going to be there
maybe
from the
we'll
group
just quickly
stages.
go through the groups. So Rujumba Sevens. Pool A for the men having Pirates, Buffaloes, Eagles, Box. Eagles who have just recently earned themselves qualification for the big stage, and also winners of the Central Rugby Sevens. The Pool B having Hippos, Rhinos, Warriors and Chambogo. Pool C having Cobs, Warukuba, Mongas and Sailors. And Pool D having Heathens, Impis, Rams and Moobs. And then for the women, having two pools. Pool A having Black Pearls, Nile Rapids and Lady Probables. Pool B having Thunderbirds, Avengers and Lady Possibles. Very interesting names. So, you were still telling us about on pitch. From
On
those
pitch.
groups.
The group stages, it's going to be a shocker.
Yeah.
Even
I've
from
seen
the
the
groups,
shockers.
even from the group stages. Now imagine a game of Heathens against Impis. It's not going to be easy.
Rhinos.
Pirates versus Buffaloes, not easy. Cobs versus Sailors.
Plug in your science.
I know. No, they're in the same group. No, these are facts. Now, also remember there's women's rugby.
Yeah.
That Thunderbirds versus Black Pearls.
Yeah, definitely Thunderbirds
Final.
want to prove a point.
Exactly, it's possible. Remember, in the current table standings, Black Pearls and Thunderbirds have the same points,
Okay.
and then the third, being the Avengers, are also 1 point behind. So it's going to be just a fine display. And even in the top teams in the men's pools, on day 2, remember, Cobs is not far away from the first. It's down by 8 points. So them winning a circuit or even finishing in the final, finishing second, wouldn't be bad for them, considering it's 3 of 7 now. So it's you just can't miss this, man. You just can't.
Sorry.
About what?
You're going to miss on Saturday.
Man, I'm still thinking about that wedding a bit.
But Caesar, these days you have so many weddings. Those are characteristics of a married man. Yeah?
It is the age. It is the age. It
We
is
can
the
we
age
can
of
tell
wedding.
by your haircut.
I know. Those daddy are coming haircuts. But anyway, Caesar, just briefly, give us your thoughts about these polls and just let us know where you think maybe Cobs will finish. Do you think Cobs can be able to retain Rujumba Sevens?
I always believe that Cobs can win any circuit. Always believe that Cobs can win any circuit. But the pools are really, really well aligned. It's not really definite. People are saying they're upset. Me, I think pool A is a pool of death. I really believe, because of course I don't know why I always feel like Eagles, that Eagles team. I think pool A is the hardest pool, the one that has Pirates, Buffaloes, and of course I would have looked for that. I hope I can attend like one match at least of that Pirates Buffaloes game, because I think
Surely you can attend, unless it is your wedding.
I know. You see, for me, I believe that a wedding is a church service. This is Kwejalabia I can miss, but the church service is everything to me, so that's why I'm worried. But I hope it can be like the first, but it's in Namirembe. Those Luganda services, my lord. But I feel that Rujumba Sevens never disappoint. I don't like Pirates. I really don't. But their organization of pitch is just state of the art. On the space we had after this week, Echodu said something that would not sit well with some people, but he said if you want to learn management in the recent time, go and take a book and pay attention to what's happening at Kings Park. And for me, I don't like the club, I don't like what they stand for, I don't like their rugby, but their organization is state of the art. Really, like they go all the way. Their off-pitch organization, they go all the way. The team is equally very good, very good, very unbelievable manager and coach, but
At fans,
no, those guys ate me alive. I can never give them a
I
color.
forgive you.
My God, they ate me alive. But that George, leave George alone. Anyway, I feel like Rujumba won't disappoint. The organization will be nice, the party will be there, and the rugby is going to be. What I'm looking forward to Rujumba is the chigere. I don't know why, but I want to eat that chigere. Sunday, first thing after church, I'm going to attack that chigere, because Sunday I have nothing I'm going to be doing. So the rugby is going to be nice. The rugby is going to be good. There are going to be upsets. Of course, I believe Cobs is ready to. There are going to be shockers, because all teams are going to have their players, and I believe Heathens, Chisano might be back, and so on and so forth. Pirates will have Ivan Magom. Hopefully, if he doesn't play, he said he won't play, but I believe he will, because it's his home circuit. So every team is going to be. We will have Ian back. Hopefully, Casito, if he's not, if he has recovered.
how is Gonya?
I don't know about Gonya, man. I rarely know very many things in Shadondo, so I shall ask Posha, his friend. She should know.
Their cousins.
They are cousins, and she should know how Gonya is. But I believe rugby at Kings Park is going to be interesting, because there are 7 circuits and it's just 3 of 7. a lot can change when with the rugby and the party. And one thing I say about Pirates fans, when they lose, the rugby chill remains a rugby chill. Like they don't disappear or they don't sulk. They will revenge. They will get a cops guy, they serve you niggles, you go home with blue balls. Okay, I take it back.
And then at night they bookmark your tweets.
Yeah. So really, the party is going to be there, and I believe these sevens this year, like Bruno said, they're a bit different. They're they're much better. So I believe it's going to do well.
Then the other thing about Pirates and the off-pitch party at the Rugby Shield that you guys don't know is, within our fan base and old players, we now have the Pirates DJs. I can mention DJ Sese, I can mention DJ Alza. DJ Sese was by the Pirates hook at some point.
Yes.
We have DJ Alza, but DJ Alza played for Rhinos, I think.
DJ Alza played rugby?
Yeah, he played for Rhinos at some point.
That's a new one.
Then we have Derek Files, we have DJ Brayo, we have DJ Boogie, who is also a smarkist. So, quite a number who are always also happy to come back to the Rugby Shield and entertain.
Yeah. But Pirates is falling this weekend for sure. I don't know whether they will lose the entire tournament, the entire sevens, but this weekend they will lose. This week, I can even predict they're not in the final.
Oh, okay.
This weekend.
It's okay.
If they got it, they got it.
It's okay.
But they will not be in the finals.
All right.
So they will not. The finals is going to be Cops versus Impis.
Bookmarked.
If there is ever a podcast that we come here and Caesar doesn't say that he hates Pirates, if we could have $1 for every time he says that, we'd be very, very rich. Or if we could take shots on that, then we'd be very, very lit. Anyway, you put out a particular tweet mentioning someone that possibly had their 50K. Maybe walk us through that. How they can utilize 50,000 at Rujumba Sevens for 2 days.
2 days. So this is how the 50K works. It begins working from the gate.
Once you've reached the gate.
Once you've reached the gate,
you have to figure that
out. I don't know where you're coming from. Maybe 100. So I don't know where you're coming from. So you pay your 10K at the gate. Times those are 2 days.
20K.
Now you have 30K.
30K.
You get your boys, like 4 boys, contribute each 10K. Buy a crate.
Yeah.
So that means you've contributed 10K on the crate.
Yes.
So you're remaining with 20.
No, you're remaining with 10 now because that is day 1 and day 2.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, now you're remaining with 10K.
Yeah.
5K on day 1 and 5K.
Hey, is that enough? With all the
Shigeri,
You eat shigeri.
I have 5 bottles per day of night. Plus shigeri in the evening and...
Well,
sorted. Just
very,
like
very
us.
interesting. As you can see, there is also, if you're on a budget, still the Rujumba Sevens caters for all. But gentlemen, before we close this, I want to know, Bruno, I'll start with you. Your thoughts about, or your expectations actually about this weekend and your predictions for who is winning. I know it's really going to be biased, but I want to hope against hope and think that you're going to give us a shocking prediction.
Shockers, like I said, the finest rugby you'll experience is here. The fact that we've been having fine rugby in the past 2 circuits, which were up country, and now we have a competitive standing with clubs, with players literally coming from home onto the home ground or onto the pitch where the games will be played. It's going to be competitive. But I see Pirates still taking it.
Okay.
Yeah.
No prizes for that prediction. Mr. Sendifa George William, thoughts, expectations, predictions.
My thoughts are, I really think we are going to have a good 7 circuits, 2-day circuit. KPA, Kings Park Arena won't disappoint. The management are ready. Parents management are ready. The sponsors are ready to make sure that the 2-day event is successful. Predictions, I'm not being biased. I love being objective. Cesar, you know that.
Yeah.
I'm an objective person. Pirates have been the best team over the 2 circuits. I expect that to continue, and we'll go on and win the Rujumba Sevens. That's it from me.
Okay. Mr. Joseph Maani.
Going into the Rujumba Sevens, I am actually a bit disappointed that the Lady Cranes teams were included again, because they sort of depleted these other teams in Ginger, and then the quality of rugby went a bit down. And then you would find some players in the Lady Cranes 1 and 2 shining, and then their teams
Oh yeah,
really not doing
at some point
well.
Lady
And
Cranes too had 4 players of Black Pearls, and they were playing against Black Pearls. It was funny.
it was funny. Emily was this side doing her thing, then Oma, Rachel, Nambabi were all the other side also doing their thing, and it didn't look good. But since they are preparing for an international tournament, we can give them the benefit of doubt with Coach Cyrus. Otherwise, on the men's side, I think we are going to get some shockers, especially on day one. Yeah, we are going to get some shockers, especially on day one. But I really think Cops is going to take this one.
Interesting,
I'm
interesting
counting on Cops to
prediction.
do what they do at their country home. Boyoge
As they call it.
What the hell?
They call it legends. Boyogere what? Branch. So, Mr. Caesar,
Yes.
you've had the prediction so far. Do you think you can be objective?
Yeah, I'm going to be.
Then try and be.
First and foremost, I'm happy it's Maani who has said this, because be careful, they will say I've recruited you from Impis to be an influencer.
About him and I love.
No, I first and foremost, I've never really doubted a Rujumba circuit. I never doubt a party or anything. King's Park derailing relationships since 2018. it will always be a party. Let me tell you, it will work. King's Park will work. About the rugby, we are not favorites because, like George said, Pirates has won 2 circuits. I don't know about Ginger. I didn't watch. I wouldn't want to say they dominated Kitgum, but they played really well, and they had a player who scored every time he got the ball. So they are the informed team. They are the lucky championship team. They are in charge, as they keep saying. So they are favorites. They should be favorites to win their home circuit.
How does luck come
However, no. Okay, I can't say this out of respect for, but let me continue.
Okay.
They have a good coach and all that stuff. So they're favorites to win their home circuit. I don't think they're going to win it. However, I believe Cops is going to win. I believe Ian is going to be the man of the tournament if he plays, and I believe he's going to play. I believe he's going to be the player of the tournament, and I believe Cops is going to win. However, Pirates are the favorites to win. You might not give me a chance, so let me say this. Ever since the Sevens began, I kept on mentioning people that stand out for me. In Kitgum, there was a kid, I keep forgetting his name, I hope I never remember it. There was a player in Pirates who was wearing the shirt 11. Remind me
Joshua
the name.
Engwao.
I found him very decent. He played a very, very good tournament. He was playing well, very calm, not in the showbiz business like many
I find
Pirates
his
players.
kind of play same as Karim's.
Yes, more or less.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. This man says what I'm saying. No showbiz rugby, no mob noise on Twitter. He sat down and played his rugby, and he stood out. He really, really stood out. On top of Arnold, who was splendid for that tournament, he scored everything. But my man of the tournament, my player of the tournament, was Maxwell, the ref. Maxwell, I don't know his second name, the Ginger Hippos ref. Man, that guy is destined for greatness. He's officiating. I don't know whether it's because he's a fresh player, but he's officiating for someone who is just new into the officiation. I kind of always pray he did something. He officiated the Ginger Hippos game. He officiated a big Ginger Hippos game. I think they were playing Buffaloes. I don't remember properly. He officiated that game, and he was very impartial, and I was impressed, and I wanted to send a shout out to Maxwell. He's doing well and is destined for greatness. No, let me not say this. Thank you.
You have so many things you've wanted to say but not wanted to say. Why are you a coward?
I'm not a coward. I
That's
just
many
have.
things.
I'm not a coward. They just have, now we are in Fat Cats. We have a Nile Special is here. They might, Ugandans on Twitter, they just say so many things. But I would prefer Maxwell reffing Cops games than a certain guy.
Oh. Caesar.
We're not going to get into that referee conversation
That's why I told you I wanted to keep it.
But anyway, it's been a very, very interesting conversation. And like the gentlemen have said and have really projected, the only reason you should miss the Rujumba Sevens is if it is your own wedding. If it is someone else's wedding, you do have the leeway to miss. So, Caesar, stop looking for excuses. It is not your wedding, Caesar. Please attend the Rujumba Sevens. You'll have a lot of Pirates people to usher you in and make sure you're feeling comfortable while you're being stressed by Cobs and their results. However,
the only friend I have is Kings Park is Posha. Nothing else, but it's okay.
And Posha comes in late because of work. So.
I will not be ushered in.
You'll wait for her to the gate.
Yeah.
It's okay. But anyway, today we are not at our usual home. We're at the Excelsis Garden Hotel. Like we said, very, very beautiful space. The conference rooms are amazing. The bar, the restaurant, very impeccable. We had a chance to have a tour of the rooms. Very, very beautiful rooms as well. There will be information running on the screen itself, just giving you the details on how you can get in touch with the people at Excelsis Garden Hotel and how you can book yourself a room. For those that are listening to us on the audio, you can get in touch by calling 0393-247-966. Thank you for being part of this episode of the Fat Cats Rugby Podcast. See you at the Rujumba Sevens and see you next week as well.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening in. Share with us your thoughts from today's episode, and don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube channel.